Oh, we're cooking up some good peppers today. They're smoked, stuffed with meat and cheese and spices and goodness. You're gonna like this one. Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. This is Texas Cooking Today. On Texas Cooking Today, I give two different kinds of videos. One is a recipe and the other is a tutorial. This one is our recipe version, and we're going to be giving the recipe for wonderful stuffed peppers. We're going to take these big, beautiful, thick, meaty gems and we're going to turn them into a delight using a couple of different meats here, a couple of different cheeses, and a variety of spices and herbs. And folks, with that, we get a fantastic item, but we're going to bump it up even more because I want to smoke it. That's right, I'm going to use my grill and smoke it. We're going to make a flavor that's outstanding. This is a good recipe, so come over this way. Let's take a look at the ingredients and get busy making some stuffed peppers. Come on. The ingredients that I'm using today, including the peppers that I have there, those are bell peppers, and I'm using some red and yellow ones today. I think those are nice festive colors. We're using on our spices some oregano, cumin, sage, and a bit of salt. And the other flavoring is going to be right here. That's some beautiful mesquite wood. I like to smoke my bell peppers with mesquite wood. Now, we're going to be using some beef, and also I've got some patty sausage right over here. And this is one of those that's kind of hot and spicy, so it's a really neat option, but you go with your choice. I've got two different kinds of cheeses. Got some cheddar cheese as well as some Parmesan cheese and a little bit of olive oil. So what we have is a fantastic array of ingredients here that we're going to put together and make the most delicious stuffed bell peppers that you'll ever get to try. I have a fry pan here, and I have my meat, my beef and sausage. I'm about to combine these two right here, and I'm going to be adding in my spice. So it'll just be a gentle sprinkle of each over the top. Get everything combined well and thoroughly cooked. Okay, now you don't have to overcook it or brown it deep or anything like that. Just make sure that it's cooked all the way through on all of it. This is very important. When we are cooking a bell pepper, we're looking to flavor the pepper. We're looking to melt some cheese on top of it, things like that. But we're not necessarily looking to cook meat in the middle of the pepper, because that would take a lot longer than we want to cook the pepper, and then the pepper would be broken down and not quite so enjoyable. So we're looking for a good combination of both. To do this requires taking that bell pepper and stuffing it with something that's already pre-cooked. So this is the way we do it. Combine these ingredients and get it all cooked up thoroughly. At the same time, I'm going to be taking these, putting them directly on my burner and charring off that skin. Now, if you don't have this, use your grill. And if you don't have a grill or a gas stove, you can put these under a broiler and give them a little bit of charring, but don't overcook them. No more than about 10 minutes under there, okay? And we're going to do the same thing up here. We're just looking to get enough to char and blister the skin. We're going to peel that off. Then we're going to cut them and stuff them. Folks, when it comes time to peel your chilies, just grab a hold of that skin and pull it off. Helps to have a paper towel handy. You can just kind of wipe it off on. All right, but that's all there is to it. And if you leave a little of this charring behind, hey, it won't hurt a thing, all right? And it will add to the flavor of this. So don't be afraid to just go at it and get it pulled off, okay? Now what we have underneath here is going to be some delicate skin, and I want to mention that's one of the reasons we've got the olive oil sitting out. We're going to coat this with olive oil once I get the skin off, all right? So do yours the same way. Remove skin, coat the chili with olive oil on the outside, and that way it'll stand up to the heat you're about to subject it to, okay? If you would, just cut the tops off of your peppers, okay? And what I'm doing here is just opening it up, nothing more, but I'm not cutting all the way through. I'm still having to deal with the seed pod, which is attached on the inside by these little veins. Well, if you reach down in there with your knife, you can cut through those and remove the vast majority of what you need right there. There is a little bit of seed left in there, but the majority of it's out already, okay? That shows how easy that is. Now, if you would just go ahead, do all of yours the same way, and then these things are ready to be stuffed after we treat them with a little bit of oil on the outside, and that just keeps them from drying out as we do the last cook. So we've removed the skin that would normally protect it from heat. So we have to replace that with something, and that something is going to be some olive oil, okay? So let's do it that way. Trying to get a few extra seeds off of that one. And then these, I've been removing the seed pods on, and that's just a simple go around the base of them. And boom, you have a little sombrero that's ready to go right on top of your chili after it's stuffed, okay? Isn't that really cool? Ladies and gentlemen, we about have this ready. All I have to do now is stuff these and get them on my grill. So there's a few prep items I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, I'm going to wrap it in some foil, poke holes, and put it in my grill so it smokes. These, we're going to get them stuffed with a combination of the meat and cheeses and topped with the Parmesan cheese. And we're going to get it out there on the grill. Now, you want one side of the grill to be passive, in other words, not heating. And that's where these go because they bake more than they grill. The other side will have our heat on, and that's where our wood will be to be smoking. These I've already covered in olive oil. I've just got to flip them over and stuff them. So these have now been filled. I started with a layer of meat, and that was just 1 spoon of each, and it was a sizable spoon, okay? And then the cheddar cheese on top of that, another spoon of meat over the top of this, and now we're ready to top it finally with our Parmesan. Now that cheddar cheese is nice on the inside because it has a tendency to melt and mix in with the meat. And this is great on top because it's a drier cheese and it has a tendency to brown better, okay? So if you want a good browning action on top, I recommend the Parmesan. And that's one of the reasons I use that. The other reason was the fact that Parmesan tastes really, really good. It's delicious. And when it's melted like this and it gets a little brown, it goes beyond delicious. It truly enhances a dish. These are going to go onto the grill along with these, and that way I cook everything together and these become a nice little hat, or if you prop them up sideways, a little decoration to what you're making, okay? That's all we have to do right there. So when I'm going to use wood on my grill, I simply lift the grate and put the wood packet or the smoking tray, whichever I'm using, right on top of my burners. I replace this and then bring it up in temperature. Once these grates are hot enough to sear, this is usually smoking at that point. That's usually 10 minutes on high heat with 2 burners, or a little less sometimes on 3 burners because it heats up faster. This side over here is where I'm going to be cooking, so I'm going to leave this burner off and I'm going to be running these 2 and heat it up that way. The quantity of everything that we've used today, well, of course, as you see, I used 4 large peppers, and to that I was using 12 ounces of ground chuck, this is beef chuck, and 6 ounces of patty sausage, any kind that you prefer. Here on our spices, we simply just sprinkled over some oregano, cumin, and sage. And you don't want to be too heavy-handed on any of those 3. You don't want those to be the standout flavors. You want that beef and sausage to be. These simply enhance. And a little bit of salt. So we're looking at about a half a teaspoon of each on those. And I used a couple of ounces each of my cheddar and of the Parmesan cheese. So there we have it, folks. The olive oil, just enough to cover the outside of those peppers as you've seen, and that's all it takes. This is a simple recipe. Now let's take a look at what it looks like once it's all been cooked up. Okay, I'm adjusting my heat down to low. I have these already out here. They're heating beautifully. I've got them on the cool side. This over here is where I have my heat. And my lids are out here getting cooked up with this. I'm looking for my cheese to melt and to brown a little bit on top. And then these are finished at that point. Oh, these are great. I mean, I'm just sitting here munching out. Look at that. beautiful melted cheese. The flavor of combining that sausage and the beef, and then that bell pepper gets so sweet when you cook it. When you cook at high temperature, like what we did to sear off the skin, and also to cook it off in here at 400 degrees, that was 30 minutes and it came out beautiful. So if you would, give this recipe a try. Take a look in the description box underneath here. That's where you're going to find a link to S.A.Trotter.com. That's where I have the printable PDF versions of my recipes. And also I have a lot of other things there too. So please take a look at that, S.A.Trotter.com. Please stick around for just a minute. I'm going to show you what those recipes look like. And if you would, if you like the video, click a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And folks, please enjoy your stuffed pepper. Oh yeah. I wanted to mention to you my recipes. Yes, I sell my recipes. Okay, look, some people, they give the recipes out for free and they charge for the tutorial. So I do it the opposite on YouTube. You get the tutorial for free, I charge for the recipe. I did a lot of work, a lot of writing, a lot of extra stuff that goes with this, okay? Come over a little closer. Let me show you one of these up close so you really realize what you're getting. And then also, I'm offering one for free. We'll take a quick look at that right now. Come here. This is what I'm talking about right here. When I fill out a recipe, when I write one, I always bullet point all of the ingredients, okay? A simple one or a complex one. I, in addition, number the instructions, and often I'll give pictures with it. Now, not all of them are this well done, but this is what I'm going for on every single one from here on out. All of my new recipes you're going to see done this way. And on the end of the recipe, there's always a place for notes for yourself, okay? Right now, go to my website. You're going to get this one right here for free, okay? Cinnamon rolls. Enjoy that cinnamon rolls recipe and take a look at the others I have. They're really worth your time.